Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about Talking with Psychopaths and Savages, A Journey into the Evil Mind, and this is by Christopher Berry D, and I picked this book up a while back in the works, and I also read it a while back. If you go on my Instagram you can see I posted it quite a while ago. And I was so excited to get this book, which I know sounds weird because it's a book about psychopaths, but I really enjoy stuff like this. I really enjoy the main type of fiction I like to read is horror, and then the non-fiction stuff I like to read is stuff about mental health, and I'm really interested in like serial killers and why people do the things they do. I just find it really interesting. So I was really excited to pick this up. I think I got it for like £4 or something from the works, and also this author has several other books out along this kind of subject. I think maybe like 4 or 5 other books out which I haven't picked up. I've never read anything by him before. This is the first book I've ever read by him, and I kind of wish that it wasn't. I wish I picked up another book by him because I've heard good things about his other books. They were quite well rated on Goodreads. But I bought this book and then I looked it up on Goodreads when I got home and realised my mistake when I saw pretty much everyone gave it 1 to 2 stars. And that doesn't deter me from reading a book, because sometimes I like books that other people don't like. You know, it's all, you know, kind of a personal opinion. But in this case I kind of wish I'd looked it up before I bought it, because I definitely agreed with those 1-star reviews. Unfortunately, this was super disappointing. I don't know what his other books are like. I might try one of his other higher rated ones, but basically the first couple of chapters in this book is basically so you have like acknowledgements and then different letters and then like an introduction, and it goes through all these, you know, aggressive narcissism and all this, and then it gets onto the case studies. Now the case studies are what I would recommend reading in this book because they're the most interesting part. But the first few chapters of this book, this author goes on and on and on about himself. He's just talking about himself. He mentions his other books like 1,000,000 other times, and he's basically, this whole thing is just a self-promotion. This was basically a book that was put together really fast. It was just a money grab, and it's really disappointing. Because like I said, the whole beginning of this book is just talking about how brilliant he is, how amazing these other interviews, or how successful his other books were. And it's just like, I don't care, just get into what this book is supposed to be about. But he's just bragging on and on about himself. And it's quite funny to me because he talks about narcissism a lot in this book. And this author comes across as a total narcissist because all he does is brag about his previous achievements and previous accomplishments. And it's like, I don't care, I just want to read the interesting parts about these killers. Because basically in this book he's written to a lot of different murderers, and they've written back to him, and it's basically his correspondence with them and how all these killers love him and they think he's amazing and a great interviewer, and how, you know, he's so good at his job and he manages to get confessions and stuff out of these serial killers that other people can't, and he has a connection and how he connects to these people, but he thinks they're disgusting. And it's just very unprofessional and just really not a good case study on a whole of this author. I was really, to be honest, I wasn't going to read anything else by him until I saw he'd done some other books and they were slightly higher rated. There's one here, Talking with Serial Killers, which I think is one of his most popular books. But this one was just so disappointing, and it does have case studies, and the good points about this book are some of the case studies are killers that I hadn't ever heard of. So here we go. Michael Bruce Ross, psychopath master of manipulation. And so he has these little case studies where he's written about these people that he's spoken to, and some of them I had heard of and some of the killers I hadn't heard of. I'm going to put some of the names up here. So some of them are more well known than others, and some of the case studies were very interesting, but I wish it had gone into more detail about what they had actually done. Because literally, okay, this is one chapter, this is one case study, and it's like a few pages. That's like what, maybe less than 10 pages on one case study. That's really not enough to be delving into these serial killers and why they've done them. And I guess maybe this isn't an in-depth book because it just says, well, it says talking with psychopaths, but it's just about his correspondence with these killers. But really, I feel like the case studies could have been, they just could have expanded. Let me just try and get another one. It's like, this is another one. This one's slightly longer. But still, it's just not enough. There's not enough detail in it. This is like, yeah, and it has people from all over. So I think some of them are American and some of them are British killers. And there's not a lot known about British killers. Or I don't know a lot about British killers. I just haven't heard as much about them, apart from obviously the most famous ones like Jack the Ripper and that kind of stuff. But yeah, these are a few of the people that he did the case studies on. But yeah, like, it's just not enough detail. And I probably could have guessed by the size of the book, but I didn't kind of guess that the first few chapters of this book were just going to be the author blathering on about himself and how amazing he is and how good at his job he is. And I just got really angry. Although in part I think it was kind of a good thing that I read the Goodreads reviews before I read this, because then I kind of went into it going, okay, this isn't going to be as great as what I thought it was going to be. And I was just kind of like laughing the first few chapters because I was like, this is so ridiculous. So it was kind of amusing in one way, but yeah, I would not recommend this. If you're looking for like a real in-depth study into the minds of psychopaths and savages, I would definitely give this one a miss. Like I said, I might try one of his other books because they're slightly higher rated, but I don't know, I'm kind of annoyed by this author now. His voice annoyed me in this book. Like I said, I enjoyed the case studies because I found them interesting and it mentioned people who I hadn't heard of before, so that was quite cool. But other than that, I wouldn't really recommend it. I would maybe just like look up who he was talking about in this book and then do your own research, which is what I'm probably going to do if I want to get more in depth into what these people were about and why they did what they did and how they went about it and that kind of a thing. So yeah, disappointing. If you have any recommendations on like true crime non-fiction books, then please leave them down below because I would like some recommendations. I've read a couple in the past, but it's been a long time ago. And yeah, anything on kind of like criminal psychology I'm really interested in, because yeah, I just am. I don't know why. At one point I was studying criminology, so it's just kind of, I just find it really interesting. And I enjoy books around criminology as well. So yeah, disappointed by this, wouldn't recommend it. Maybe try one of his other books and give this one a miss because like I said, they were higher rated. And if you have any recommendations for me, then please leave them down below. I always like hearing from you guys. And if anyone's read this and enjoyed this book, let me know, because it's just, the author was just so, I can't see anyone really enjoying this book, and from the Goodreads rating I'm kind of right on that thought, because yeah, I don't think I saw any reviews above 3 stars from what I can remember. So yeah, this is definitely a 1-star read for me. The only redeeming qualities were that it had some people that I hadn't heard of before in it, and it was because it was just so awful, it was kind of comical in a way. So yeah, that was disappointing. But yes, leave me your thoughts down below, and thank you for watching. I'm going to stop rambling now, so as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, bye guys.